Hey everyone, my name's Steve, and I'm coming to you from the Virginia Beach area. Today's March 1st of 2023, and decided to come on after debating it for a while to do a video. I guess it'll have to be in a few parts because I see how it's difficult to say all this and wrap it up in such a short, quick video. However, I don't think I'll do a day by day or that type of grind with it, but more so like an overview, um, because it's a lot to go through and a lot to talk about as you're healing and everything. Um, but I was skeptical at first to do a video, but once I decided to do the actual or follow through with the actual TLIF procedure, I instantly went to YouTube to look for any type of videos or information on the procedure itself, and anything to help me feel at peace with it mentally, what physical stuff was going to happen, all that stuff. And there was a bunch out there on the traditional TLIF, A-lift. I wouldn't even say a bunch, but it was some stuff. The A-lift, P-lifts, T-lifts. But I didn't see a whole lot about the MIS TLIF. I saw a couple of some that had a similar procedure, which for me, I had the MIS, which means the minimally invasive transforaminal lumbar interbody fusion. I have to have some notes over here of the, I had L4, a multi-level L4, L5, and then S1 fused. And that decision to do that was a process to come to that decision. But needless to say, once I did make that decision, I wanted to find as much information out there, and it really wasn't a ton. And I know it's springtime now, and some people may have been waiting to go through the healing during this process so that, you can hopefully be ready for the summertime or whatever. So this may land in a good spot. It's also helpful for me to just journal it, and you're on your own, and it's a tough field to be in sometimes mentally and all that. So without rambling, let me do a little bit of a backstory with it. My history as a musician, a percussionist, and I traveled all over the country, up and down, mainly up down the East Coast with Drum Corps International, teaching, performing, all of that, and did a lot with marching bands, colleges, as far as teaching and writing music for percussion, drum lines, basically. And also did some, other stage music stuff, but that was the forte, snare drummer. But that also included me carrying drums and doing things for years, plus, just a lot of on the road, on the go, sleeping in all kinds of weird things and places and floors and whatever. On top of that, I was also, well, still am, a board certified massage therapist, and I specialized in deep tissue, chronic pains, injuries, sports therapy, on top of other stuff. But I really went after and was known for, that serious therapy, and dealt with a lot of people that came out of fusions and back surgeries and all different types of surgeries that didn't necessarily work. And of course, that made me feel skeptical of doing the surgery for many, many years. I was mostly pro Eastern medicine, holistic. And then the knowledge of being able to help myself, I never thought I would have surgery, put it that way. But never say never, because the time and place can happen where it's very necessary to join Eastern and Western medicines. And now I'm just a firm believer of that both have their places. And in my case, I'm very, very grateful of the procedure so far. So I also want to come up here and just give a video showing that it's not always, so far, knock on wood, always a bad thing. And it being so taboo of how bad surgery is, back surgery, the lumbar surgery is, and the horror stories and fear and everything that surrounds this whole bubble of having it done. But I tell you, when you're in a certain position and with the right diagnosis and the right reasons, it, I for one can vouch now that I think it's very necessary, or it could be a very great alternative, especially if you ran the gamut of everything else. So, um, but I did those two um, activities for 25, 30 years on top of each other. So I did have some typical regular degeneration, of course, like everyone else. But with the experience in the medical field, having all the equipment, I've always been able to return back to, get out of whatever aches and pains that was going on, or, tight this or tight that, traditional massage, chiropractic, all that stuff. And I did that. I was very active in golf is definitely my main passion. And that's my alone time. With how wild everything's been over the years, it's quiet and peaceful out there. Plus, it's still challenging and active. And I would really love to get back to that. I mentioned that to the surgeon, but I did we as a family a lot of the races, the JNA races, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. Very active life, biking, Susan G. Komen's, 50 miles, 60 miles. We just lived a solid, active lifestyle. And anybody that knew me knew that that was a big part of my life. And even becoming certified as a personal trainer for a stretch of 2013 up until right around 20, when things started to get a little wonky for me. But again, I was always able to fight through things and heal and remain active until I was in a car accident in March of 21. And that's when everything changed. My life completely changed. And it's still vivid. It's still powerful to think about, but I know everything happens for a reason. And without going into that, that's what changed this whole aspect. A car basically wasn't paying attention, ran straight through like a neighborhood trying to cross over, and just shot out and hit me. It just completely took out the front end of my car. I didn't even see it happen. And that unfortunately sent me into oncoming traffic to where I got hit again. So it was just a massive, just back everything. I immediately felt my left side of the body just fire off. And if I did have any little aches and pains in the past, it was always on my right side, just, I don't know if it was compensation from whatever, but that accident truly triggered a 2-year process of healing. Of actually, we're almost at 2 years. We got 3 more weeks, March 24th. So I went into all types of therapies in this time frame of trying to heal. And no matter what I did, it just wouldn't heal. I did, 10 months of PT. I did about 5 or 6 months of dry needling, where they were putting about 15, 20 needles, the good size acupuncture needles down in there, and then connecting with the electrodes or the stems or TENS unit. And I was doing that twice a week. And, I did EMG nerve testing. I did all the injections. And then in each one of these times, you have to wait. You get the injection, now you got to wait 3 months. You get this and that, you got to wait. So it's just time of trying to heal. And inside of those times, I was trying to do all the proper exercise. Obviously, I couldn't do a lot, but just trying to do the exercises and different things to keep my strength up. But the body was just so inflamed, always just rejecting whatever. I did the route of drugs as far as ibuprofen, Tylenol. I had diclofenac, just things that would typically fix, some of these issues, herniations, if you have that DDD, herniations, bulging disc. A lot of that stuff can be fixed if you're dedicated, and that's the key. And I also believe that's why in the therapy world, why a lot of it didn't work for clients was because they simply didn't dedicate to the process of you got to do the 2, 3 times a week with the therapist, but you also have to do it 7 days a week at home. And that could really be a big reason why a lot of the stuff didn't work, including some of the fusions that um, didn't take because are they following the bending, lifting, twisting rule? You know, are they really, really doing what they're supposed to be doing? And in this case, taking your time from what I'm experiencing. You cannot rush it. Maybe some people have to rush back to work. Maybe some people, you know, d- don't have the luxury of somebody being home or someone helping to care with you and just doing things to try to help, whether it's cooking or something, or just sweeping, or just simply just pushing it because you might have your good day and you feel like you want to just do something, and then all of a sudden you move and you mess something up. But I've exhausted, not to get off track, I exhausted so many of the therapies, and including I have a gym on my own at home. I have massage guns, TENS units, inversion tables. I mean, I have above average knowledge than most on or regular uh, person of how to fix the body because that's also part of my career for so many years. Nothing would work. And then it got to the point when I finally ran the course and my orthopedic surgeon or doctor finally recommended me to the neurosurgeon and a well-known neurosurgeon. And when I got to him, he wanted to see right away a whole different level of things. He wanted to see the CAT scans. He wanted to see me in different flexion and extension positions and from different angles on the x-rays. And, we went through with that. And then, that little waiting time went on. And then I follow up with him and here it goes. Right away, he said, well, the issue has been that they're broken. You have a bilateral, both sides, pars defect, which means that the disc is basically just floating and it's slipping. And for once, even though that was news to me of like, wow, but it was also, what's the word I'm looking for? It was a confirmation that I wasn't going crazy because in this time, you also have to think, or I could say, it was a lot going on, not working, having your career stop, all the load that was put on the family and the kids. We have a toddler as well. And not being able to pick her up and hold her, and just the stress and extra load that went on to the family in this time. It was a mental battle and all the pain I was in. You can't get your weight, like fluctuating from all the drugs and steroids and gaining weight and still working on that. Just a spiral of depression and everything you could go through as you're trying to heal. But it made sense to me now that I could feel the fact of why nothing was working. No matter what I did, it would pull me back. I would go down. I would feel good doing a little bit of something, and I would instantly fall down. And I always would say everything just felt like it was unstable. It wasn't firing through my legs. I wasn't able to get the energy through there. It was completely weak, and I felt like I was going to collapse all the time. And when he said the process to fix that was pretty much surgery, after we followed up and he showed me all that and how compressed everything was, and that it was spondylolisthesis, which means it's now slipping. Spondylosis, you can still hold on to it. Disc herniations and things you can actually fix through the other therapies if you commit to it. But once you get to that break, it's to the point where these surgeries are meant for that. And deep down, I knew I was probably going to have to follow through with it. But I did want to ask him, as another therapist to another professional, I would like to get a second opinion. And he referred me to another great doctor, Dr. Vincent, um, and his team. And they both were really cool with each other. And I just wanted to have a second opinion. So, of course, you have to wait, to get in, especially being the first time. And he really didn't have to take me in, but I was so fortunate and blessed that he did. And I saw him in the beginning of January. It was January 3rd of 23. And basically he confirmed everything that, yes, he agrees with my other neurosurgeon, and that it's not only just L5, it was also L4. So both of them were fractured, pars defects on both bilaterally, with the slippage of when I stand up. And it just hit me. He said, he would like, this is what he would do. He would also do a TLIF. I mean, both ways were successful, but he specialized in spine reconstruction and also the MIS, the minimally invasive procedure, which, knowing the muscles and ligaments, it's less opening, less tearing, less ligament damage that should promote faster healing and less scarring and all of that. So I knew after second opinions, it was time for me to just follow through with it. I was in so much pain. I went through the Christmas, all the holiday stuff, just trying to get myself through everything. And it was just all painful. It was just so miserable. And just, I'm fighting through it. My pain tolerance was so high up. And I didn't want to just stay drugged up. I try to stay off of that as much as possible. Just basic Tylenol, ibuprofen, because I knew it wasn't doing anything. It was just masking it. And every time it masked, I could do something that made it worse. So I knew now after that point, I was just basically shaking my head saying, yep, it's time. And I had to do it. So where are we at? 17 minutes. See, it's just hard once you get into the flow to just keep them short. So hopefully people will watch it all the way through or not, but I'll definitely have to make a couple of them just to get through where I am. So that's just kind of the backstory. I do have some pre-op and stuff that I went through leading up to the surgery, and then some of the things that I did along the way to like the house prep and stuff like that. So I guess I'll just have to put that into another video just so that it doesn't get so long and that it doesn't take forever to upload or something weird goes along with it. But that's just kind of the backstory. Again, this is referring to the minimally invasive procedure of the TLIF multifusion. And I can just say right now, before I get into the other stuff, that I'm amazed with it. I've been doing well this entire time, and I'm just no regrets. Just so you know, like this, I'm coming to you with a positive video that it could really help you if you're properly diagnosed and you really need it. And we'll get into that also later. So again, thanks guys for watching, and hopefully this will be helpful moving forward, as it was helpful to me watching some of the other guys. So I thank you for putting those videos out there, because it's a lonely world out there, and a lot of people really don't understand or even how to comprehend what you go through, but it doesn't always have to be bad. So look out for the next couple videos as I get more comfortable sitting in the chair doing it. I got my brace on and this pretty cool strap, ice strap that straps around you, but it makes it comfortable and I can last a lot longer in the seat. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot, and I'll check you out or catch me in the next one.